dreaming. But which parts were the dream?
Fight without a weapon.
I know now I don't need the Keyblade. I've got a better weapon. My heart.
Your heart? What good will that weak little thing do for you?
Although my heart may be weak, it's not alone. It's grown with each new experience, and it's found a home with all the friends I've made. I've become part of their heart just as they've become a part of mine. And if they think of me now and then, if they don't forget me, then our hearts will be one. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Hello, good evening. Thanks everybody for joining. Happy Monday. Happy March 1st, right? Oh man, it's March already. It's been a whole year since COVID at least was like more serious, I suppose, over here. Oh man. Okay, well, March it is. It's been a while. Hap Mun, yes, howdy. Thank you, Sundial and Squid. I'm just gonna give this music an old pause here for me because I think it might be coming through my mic a little. I have my speakers on. I have quite a kind of a different setup this time because I'm doing something a bit different today. I'm gonna start this stream out with something. I'm gonna take something from the Ludwig book. Gonna do some content that I'm a little bit passionate about. It got real bad mid-March, yes. COVID got real bad because that's when a lot of the eruption of outrage and being on lockdown and quarantine, there wasn't many rules happening there. The curls are out and here to party. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. How are you, Steph? Is it Tuesday for you over there? Yeah, it's gotta be. It's Tuesday morning, like very early morning, right? Yeah, I think your office officially shut down in March. Yeah, the 17th. I think that's right, son. All right, yeah. Tuesday, 3 a.m. Damn, you are really a night owl. If you want to bring birds into it, you're a night owl, I guess. Yeah, and then literally the week after like quarantine started, Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. Yeah. Okay, so I'm a little excited here already. We're gonna do, let me switch my scene here. We are gonna do a Mario Party 2 minigame tier list. And I'm very passionate about this. You're doing okay. You cut your hair last night. I saw that. You don't mean I got a haircut. Yeah, you cut it. I did read, Steph, that you said that your mom helped you clean it up a little bit. But it's like a 7 out of 10 from what your mom described it, I think. And you made knitting progress. Nice. I believe Sundial is actually doing some crocheting or knitting right now. I'm not entirely certain. But yeah, nervously. Cool. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm taking one out of Ludwig's book here. I'm going to try and make a video inside my stream, but I'm going to do it with the content I love. So this might not be a constant thing, but I really want to just show the people who do show up to my stream the Mario Party minigames that really defined my college years and my childhood years at like sleepovers and playing games with friends. Yes, you're working right now, I forgot, but crochet in a second. Okay, so I know for certain Squidly has played Mario Party 2. Not sure if he's still around. I know Sundial has played it. Now, I'm not certain if everyone here watching has played this game. So I actually have the wiki pulled up in another browser window that you can't see because there's no way that I can remember every one of the names. You know, if I see it on the list in Mario Party where it scrolls through and I know the name, I know what game I'm getting into. But I have the wiki pulled up so I can at least make reference to the correct names here. So we have S through F tier. I don't think there will be too many Fs and I don't think there will be too many S's. And there are some basic criteria for this rating. And that is it fair? So there's different multiplayer or different games, 1v3, 2v2, and 4v4, or free-for-all or whatever. And then there's also like dueling mini games and item mini games. And those are also being considered in this, I believe. From what I can see, it looks like they're being considered. Maybe not. All of them. It says it includes all of the mini games. Maybe I should have done my research a little bit ahead of time here. So we're just going to hop right into it. We're going to go from top to bottom, and hopefully this won't take too much time, but I am excited to like let everyone know which are my favorite games. So like I said, the criteria is how fair they are between the different modes. Like is the chance of winning the same for no matter any side that you're playing on? Is it fun? I mean, that's also subjective to my opinion, but is it fun? And then is it luck based? Like if it is fair and it is luck based, I think it's a sort of fun mini game, but it does ruin a lot of the quality. But if it's a skill based one and it's fun, it might be fun for me just because I have some experience with this game. And then the one disclaimer I have is that there is a mini game in here right here called Driver's Ed that despite all the time in the world I've played in Mario Party 2, I have never unlocked this minigame because you need to beat the minigame Railroad on the hardest difficulty and have already purchased all of the minigames. And then this game becomes available. So I've never played it, so that's my disclaimer. I feel like it's fair to put that out there. So let's begin. This top left one, I believe, is called Archer Rival, and it's a 1v3 game where 2 computers and the 3 other remaining characters of the game shoot at they're trying to run away from the one person shooting the arrow. I think this one is pretty fair. It is somewhat lucky because there are 2 comms in the middle that like stop each other character from moving sometimes, and it's completely up to the computer that if they fuck you, and it can kind of give the one person an advantage, but it can also work in their favor. So I think it's like a solid B, mostly because 1v3 games are pretty fun. So yeah, there's the first one. It's a solid B. Second game here, I think is called Bom Bom Barrage. And it's a 3v1, and you launch bombs into the center person's sort of cask barrel. I think this is extremely fun. I think this one is extremely fair and has some dank moments where you can just style on some people. And it's also kind of lucky because most of the time people who are newer to the game, you have to like flick the stick back and release it, and then it'll shoot the bomb forward. I think that's a cool mechanic. So I'll give that one an A. Bobsled Run. This one's a 2 versus 2, and it's a race to the bottom. I'm going to give it a C. I'm not a fan of the bobsled. I'm not a fan of 2v2 where if one person's not controlling or paying attention, it can really screw you up because there are some tight turns on here. I think this is not a very noob-friendly game, and it can cost you. So I'm not a fan of it. It's a C. We're going to leave it there. Okay, the next one. I got to look at what this name is called just because I know there's a lot of bomb ones. All right, it's called Bombs Away. It's a free for all. Everyone's jumping around trying to avoid the bombs that Bowser shoots from his ship, and you can bounce on people and flatten them so it makes them not able to jump, which if you can't jump, some bombs will fling you off. I think this one's a solid B. I actually think it goes in front of Archer Rival. Super cool. I think the bomb mechanic is very hit or miss, which makes it pretty fair. So I think that one is a solid B. It's almost an A. If it weren't for the fact that when you bounce on top of everyone's head, it flings you farther. And some of the times you can get under someone who jumps and just bop them off the map. And I think that is incredibly infuriating because it's like an extra boing factor. So we'll give it a B for boing factor. Okay, moving on. This one is a race. You're in a cart that has balloons attached to the back, and you have to pop the other people's balloons. It's called bumper balloon cars. The controls are incredibly cursed, absolutely horribly cursed. Because forward moves your car forward in the direction it's aiming, left and right turns it, right? And then you have one balloon, and if it gets popped, you're done. I think it's hard, and then when you reverse, it's just absolutely, it's poopy. But for that reason, it is unforgiving. I think it's an A. I think it is the perfect end game mini game. The end game mini game that just really can rattle someone's cage. Like, even if you are in second place in Mario Party or third, and it's pretty tight near the top for winning, you can really just throw someone, under the bus in that game. So I like that one. This one I want to say is called Bumper Balls. This is the one. Yes, it's called Bumper Balls. It was in Mario Party 1, I believe. Okay, I'm put it there. I don't even know if I have to explain this one that much, okay? You're on a ball. You move. The controls are very straightforward. There's a few other maps that are circular, and you try and bump someone off. It is the ultimate head-to-head. It is the ultimate, like, if you have a vendetta, this is where you get it out. This is where you get it out. This is an S tier game. I suck at it, but anytime you win, it's a real victory. It is dominance over the opponents. So that's my spiel. Bumper Balls is a great game. I haven't played Mario Party 3 before, and I have played a few of the other Mario Parties, and I don't think they've kept a game similar to this throughout those. But I could be wrong. So if I am wrong, correct me. But S tier. I think that's the first S. It might be one of the only S's. But that one's fun. I'm not good at it. All right, moving on. We have a cake game. Cake Factory. It's a 2-player game. Each person's in charge of one cake and one fruit. And the cake goes down and someone else puts the fruit. And you can hold A to hold your fruit, but you have to grab it off the conveyor. I love this one. This one proves you have synergy with this makes or breaks friendships in the sense of like you being a duo with someone. I think this is a B. I think it goes above Archer Rival. I think you can really get ahead. You can really find the rhythm. It's solid game. That's about it. I think it's just a solid game. It's pretty fair. Computers are, I think, very great at this game. I think they really do help you out as opposed to harming you for the most part. But that is coming from someone who usually plays with hard computers, if ever I'm playing with computers. All right. This game, the next one, Day at the Races. Steph, forget telling me your zodiac sign. We are compatible with playing the Mario Cake game. Yes, exactly. That's what it describes. It definitely finds you and pairs you up based on your compatibility with that game. Definitely. Okay. This game though, Day at the Races. This one is the ultimate drunk fest Mario game. It is absolutely luck. It is 100% luck. You pick one character out of the 4, and it's a random chance that one of them will win, and whoever wins that mini game gets all of the coins. There is no skill to it. It is a rage-inducing mini game because there's no way you can influence it to my knowledge. This one, I think this one goes at a C. I think it's fair in the sense that it's completely random, but the fact that there's no influence over it really, really bums you out. And sometimes you don't get to choose the one you want. It's not really a good mini game for that, but it is one that can make your opponents tilt really hard if you end up getting lucky and winning. So it's got that going for it. All right, next one. I think this one's called like Destruction Duet. It's a 2-player game. Each team gets a Bowser statue, and the whole point is to beat the living hell out of it. Just absolutely smash its skull in. Jump B is stronger than just hitting your random or your standard B attack. You can jump on top of it and ground pound. You can break it however you want using the general mechanics of the game. Now, with that said, some people are not very good at the standard Mario or N64 controls. If you have a bad partner, it can ruin it for you. And for the most part, from my experience, it is going to be a very close game. A lot of the times, it'll be two identical looking statues, and one just happens to break a frame before the other one. This one, gonna give it a C. Not a huge fan. I'm not a huge 2-player game person for the most part, but this game is just not that fun. I don't really like beating the crap out of a statue as a mini game. If I wanted to do that, I maybe would play Super Smash Bros. But that's not that game. This is not that game. So next up, we have a dueling game for the Western World map. Goomba counts down, I believe, from like 5 seconds, 3 or 5 seconds, and whoever hits the button to shoot fastest after he says shoot wins the duel. It's your standard shootout, and I think it's a great game. It's a great reflex game. It tells you how in tune you are with the game. I think it's a high C. It's a duel mini game. I'm not a huge fan of the duel mini games because most of the time the duel mini games are something you do at the end game. That's when you lose. Maybe I just have a bad experience with losing a lot of duels. But that one, I think it's a high C, low B. It's middle of the road. All right. This next one, just looking at it, makes my blood boil because of how chance-based it is. If I can find the name, I'll tell you the name real quick before I get into the instructions of the game. It's called Grab Bag. All right. Each person has a bag on their back. You go around and try and grab someone's bag. And if you successfully grab their bag, a mushroom will pop out and go into yours. Whoever has the biggest bag at the end of the game or time wins. And one person in their bag has the golden mushroom, but you don't know whose it is. So the point would be to try and find the golden mushroom and go for that person. This game is a tilter. Because either you start with the advantage and you don't know it, and then you lose that advantage, or you start disadvantaged and you know who to target, but everyone's targeting them. I think this one, this is tough because I don't want to keep putting everything in like C or B, but I think this one is a low B. It is a good middle of the road game. I believe this mini game is for the most part a game like a challenge game where you wager coins or all of you give into an amount like a pot, and then you get a portion of that depending on your rank. I think that's what this game is, if I recall correctly, and it's called a battle mini game. That's what it's called. And that one is pretty okay. Pretty good. A little better than average. Next up we have an item mini game. I think this is the first item mini game on the list. Yes, it is. And you get it in the outer, I think it's like Space World. Space World is a really annoying world, in my opinion, that a laser shoots off if you cross the middle too many times. But the item game is even worse. You mash A or B to lift your hammer, and then you hit the opposite one to release it. And if the rocket in the middle goes too high, it dings the bell and comes right back down. Or you want to get it up to a certain level to get that item. So the items are pretty subpar generally to the amount of effort needed to complete this game. I really don't like it. It's going to be our first D. I think it's just overall hands down too complicated, and the reward is not worth landing on the space. So yeah. The next one, I believe, is a 2v2 mini game. Yes, called Looney Lumberjacks. This is one where you and your partner have to saw a piece of wood. And one person has to hit A and the other person has to hit B, because B is pull, A is push, and you have to do the opposite back and forth until you cut through your log first. This is a D. This is a D. It's above the item. The UI is incredibly confusing. The A button and B button are hard for me to read, and they shout at you, so you don't really know what direction you're going sometimes. This is once again another great example of synergies. If you happen to have a good partner and just get on the right track at the beginning, it's no problem. But there are definitely some people who really have made that game hard. And comms are one thing that really drag you down. So with that said, it is our second D, our first 2-player D ranked minigame. So then moving on now, we have, I think it's called Count. It's a counting game. It's called Roll Call. It's a 4-player game. Every one of you are trying to count the amount of characters that are on the screen. It's usually like all toads or all bomb-oms or all boos. And they move around or are blending in with the environment there, but you have to hit A to up your counter by 1. And you want to be on the dot, on the money with how many are in that area. So you want to count them correctly before they disappear or before you lose track. This game, I think, is an A. It is a classic game. There's almost no luck involved. Everyone can play it. It's not a very intensive, like, control-based game. I think it is a solid A. I think it is a middle-of-the-road A. Also, the variety is pretty great. I like the bomb-om ones. The boo ones are incredibly tough. And then the toad ones are really weird and can really screw you up. So I like that one. Next, I think we have another Duel mini game that has to do with magic. So I think this would be in like Mystery World, I think. This one is called Mushroom Brew, or it's Horrorland. Horrorland. And you have to, I believe, mash a certain button based on what color's on the screen and put in the said color mushroom to make the brew, and whoever did it most correct wins. I'm not a fan of this one. I actually think it's at the bottom. I think it's straight up garbage. Once again, duels, not my thing. Especially with this, it's just like not a fun reaction game. It's very, very intense in my opinion. Don't like. And maybe that's just a very, very opinion based rating of it. This one just have had bad experiences. I think that's just garbage. So, all right. This next one is, I think this is either S tier or top A. Let me think about it out loud. It is a 4-player game. You start with a character's face and the computer stretches it to a certain design. You must copy it as close as possible. Now, this game, I think, is extremely fun, very reminiscent of Super Mario 64 home screen. I think it's a great concept. Very fun, very silly, the faces that it makes. I think it's an enjoyable game. However, my most recent playthrough of it, there are times where I truly believe that someone had got it right on the head, like nailed it right on the head. And the game does not count it as being perfect. Someone else who's just who looks similar but is kind of off. I think this one has some weird bias in it. It could be my cartridge. I think it's a high A because of that factor. It is an incredible game otherwise. I think I could play that one for hours on end. Great game. All right. This one I think is called Fillet Relay. Fillet Relay, correct. It is a 1 versus 3 mini game. You are all penguins trying to deliver a fish to a penguin in an igloo at the end of the racetrack. However, you are all on the same racetrack and everyone has sort of bumper mechanics. not a huge fan of the game. If you're on the 3-person side, the 1-player side is pretty good. The 1-player side, I think, is incredibly easy to just get into a groove of mashing A to move. I think it's a pretty balanced game, fair overall. I'll say it's a low B because it really can screw you up if you're on the 3-person side. I don't know if there's anything else left to say on that mini game. I think that one's a pretty common one, a pretty easy one. I play that one a lot. All right, I think this next game will come as a surprise to the people I have played Mario Party with. It is a hot rope jump, I believe is what it's called. I'm just triple checking that. Yep, hot rope jump. It's a 4-player game. All of you have to jump over the flames. And if you get hit, you're out. And you try and go as long as you can to avoid the flames. However, it does get fast and then slow down and try and trick you. There are some cool patterns. However, I do think it's a bit biased if you're not in the middle of the 4 people. It gets a little harder and you have to jump a little earlier because of the rope curving. I don't think that's a very good mechanic with the camera layout. However, I feel like I'm pretty good at this game. It is a very tight race almost every time I play it with my pals. So I'm going to give this a low A. I think it's a low A. I think it's a fun game. Very, very easy to learn. Not very control intensive, but can be biased. All right. Moving on, I think we have one that I am not a fan of. It's called Quicksand Cash. It is a 3 versus 1 mini game. However, you are all sort of still working independently from each other. The 3 who are not in the middle, or you're collecting sandbags, you cannot be sucked in the middle, or otherwise you cannot earn any more coins. The person in the middle has the extreme advantage of being in the middle. They get all the coins and can control the direction of the quicksands or the sinkhole. I like this game if you're the one in the middle, but it is very, very unforgiving and can definitely turn the tides of someone who's in last place. I think it is a very poor designed game. It is one-sided. I'll give it a middle of the road D, mostly because if anyone who does play it, the person who wins, technically there is no winner, but the person who wins the game, so has the most coins, usually comes out really ahead. And I'm not a fan of that. So, all right. Making good progress here. I'm pretty happy with this so far. The next mini game is it has the word ground pound in it, I think. I think it's like ground pound totem. Let me check. Totem pole pound. You know. Totem pole pound. This one is this is one that me and my pals have down to a science. If you screw up just a little bit, you're done. You're out. You jump and hit at the peak of your jump, you ground pound so you have the most weight coming down to push the totem down as far as it can go down in one jump. If you jump really early and then ground pound really early in your jump and make a small jump, it doesn't move very much at all. So you want to be as effective as possible. I think this is a middle of the road B. The middle of the road B. And that is it is a very fair game. It is somewhat control intensive. It is pretty decent in that it's just ground pounding. You don't have to move your joystick or anything. But it is also a timing game. And I like this one because it's pretty competitive. So overall, solid B. Next one should be a Abandoned Ship. It's called Abandoned Ship, and it's a 4-person game. Each of you are in charge of climbing your own pole. If you hit the log on the side without turning to the opposite side, you get bumped down, and if you touch the water, you're out. First one to the top, or I believe last one standing, I think, wins this one. This is an unforgiving game. The mechanics are skewed. There are times where when you mash A to climb faster, you get to the top and it doesn't allow you to climb faster, so it pushes you back down anyway without hitting anything. There's a lot of jank involved. This is a poorly designed game. I'm going to give it a C, a low C. It's not quite a D because it is winnable and sometimes it works out in your favor, but overall not that fun. It's all right though. All right, I see we have 3 Bowser games in a row. All of them are incredible. Anything with big old Bowser noggin in there is pretty good. I believe the next one is called Balloon Burst, not Bowser's Big Blast, which is upcoming, but Balloon Burst. It's a 2-player game. You and your ally pump by hitting A and then B, I believe, or A and Z to pump as fast as you can, but there are certain lights on your pump that lets you know that you're doing it as efficiently as possible. And you want to blow up your Bowser balloon as quick as possible. I really enjoy this one. I believe you can single-handedly carry the game if your partner is not that great at it. However, it really does boil down to how good is your partner at this game. And that's okay. Sometimes you need to have a very competitive 2-player game. Looking at my A ranks, you can tell that most of these are 4-player. I see 1v3 and then a 2v2. So it's fairly diverse in that sense. All right, coming up next is Bowser's Big Blast. Absolutely goated. All right, if you have never played this game before, you are missing out on the best mini game in the game. For me, this is an easy S. I think it's better than Bumper Balls. Okay, this one, I know I said I don't like pure luck games, but this Bowser's Big Blast is so fun. Everyone versus each other. You go up, you press down one lever, and Bowser's eyes tick down and tell you if you blew up and chose the wrong lever. It is, picking the short end of the straw. It is completely random. I believe it's completely random based on what characters are who and whatever. When you press it down, it chooses did you win or lose. The drama involved in it. Yes, Squidly. Exactly. The drama in this game is unmatched. Absolute banger. It can tilt. It can make you win a game. There is absolutely nothing that compares to this, just because everyone can play it, and it makes you feel good when you survive. It makes you feel good when you call the one that you wanted. I personally like going always to the farthest right, always. It sometimes doesn't work out, but it's a good strategy otherwise. S tier, Bowser's Big Blast. I think it's the best mini game in the game. I don't think I'll be changing my mind on that. Yes, the waiting time for that game is definitely right as well. Very, very good game. I like that game. I know there's a few other ones in other Mario Party games where you try and cut a rope. And if you cut the wrong one, you're out. That it's very similar to that. So yeah, very good game. The next one is an item game, an item mini game in Bowser's World. It is called Bowser Slots. This one you have to jump and hit a button and roll the same item 3 times. Each roll gets progressively faster, I believe. It's an alright mini game. It's a timing one. It's a lot easier than the Spaceland mini game. I think it's a mid C. I think it is one that is nothing. There's nothing special about it. It's just very Mario-esque, and that's fine. But it's middle of the road for me. All right, another mini game based on items. This one is called Coffin Congestion. It is the item mini game for Horrorland. You have 6 coffins, they close, they shuffle, they open, they close, they shuffle, and you have to choose the one you want by ground pounding on it. I'm not a fan of this one because there's another one just like this for the pirate world, but with barrels. And this item minigame is very easy, so most of the time you can get the one that you want, and just kind of not very original, and can definitely give advantages. I'll say it's a lower C. I'll give it a lower C. This one, it just doesn't feel fun to do. Like most of the time, yeah, you just get the item that you want, and if a person happens to be ahead, they land on the item. It's just like, oh great, they're just even more ahead. Blah. This one I think is called like Submarine Plunder. If I can think of it. Let's take a look. Deep Sea Salvage. Very close. This is another 4-player coin-based minigame. There's no winner or loser. You just collect coins as they drop down to the sea. If they go into the crevice, you lose them forever, so then no one gets them. This one is just pure coin grabbage. I think this is a solid one. I think this is a low A. This one, generally speaking, allows everyone to get even amounts of coins without having a disadvantage. I think that's all that needs to be said about it. Just want to take a good look at this right now. I do like quite a bit of mini games. I do hate quite a bit of other mini games. I won't go as far as saying hate. I do dislike some other mini games. But I think it's fairly even. It looks kind of like a bell curve almost, but all right. So then this record one is called Dizzy Dancing. And it's a 4-player game. You're all on this record. It spins around and shoots you to the sides. Everyone has controls that are mixed up, but it is completely random how your controller is messed up. Some people might have their up or forward switched with their down, but their left and right are exactly the same. And sometimes your left up corner is now your down left corner, and it's just very skewed. This one is very luck based on how screwed up your controller is, because someone can get really, really fucked. But the point of it would be to jump to the middle where this little music note is and get there first. It is usually a pretty quick mini game, and it's definitely luck based. I still think it's a pretty good one in general because it's just hit or miss. I think this one, everyone is kind of at the mercy of the control, and it's a bit luck with that. So I think it's fairly even. I like, even if you were good at the game, you would still have to know your controls and which ones got messed up. So there's that. Moving on, Driver's Ed. I'm going to skip Driver's Ed. I've never played it. I feel like it's unfair. Actually, can I don't know. Can I add a row? I'll leave it for now. Driver's Ed, I've never played it. All I know is you're driving in a car and you go through cones. You do it as fast as possible. So use the gears, add a row below. Thank you. Label text. Not available, non-applicable. North America. Oh, wait, that was for this one. F. Oop. F. This one will be gray, and we'll call it. What the heck is happening? This one. Gray. New. NA. Close. F. This is, which one was it? I don't even know what color it was. That sucks. Was it yellow? Green. Chat, do you know what color it was? Was it blue? Oh, it's just very green. That's what it was. So, okay, NA. This I'll just say is exempt. It doesn't mean it's bad or good, despite it being at the bottom. I'm just leaving it there as non-applicable. All right. So then this next one is a 2-player mini game that, once again, is just absolutely about synergy. And it is called, I think it's called Dungeon Dash. That is what it's called, Dungeon Dash. And you move your stick from left to right for each foot that you move forward. And both you and your partner have to move your joystick to each of the sides at the same time. And whoever can do it the fastest will move the fastest and get out of the castle. This one, I think it's pretty high stakes. I'll give it a B, and I'll put it at the end because it can be really, really bad for someone who's never played the game. I know a lot of the times you can do a practice run for these games, but 9 times out of 10, even one practice won't even make a difference with your partner if they haven't played. I think it can hold you back. They're not very that fun. I also don't really understand the fire mechanic that goes over you that can harm you sometimes. So not about that. Okay. Oh, sorry. I said okay and all right at the same time. It sounded weird. Western Land Item Mini Game is a 1-player game, and you pull the lever to one side when you want the train to stop. It'll spin a little bit more and halt on the item directly below you. There is a timing mechanic. It comes down to, have you played it enough? I like this one. It is a lot more chance-based. Even as someone who's played it quite a bit, I still don't exactly know the timing for it. It would take me 1 or 2 games or tries to do it, but regardless, it's a good one. It's a solid one. A lot of the times you don't get the item you want, so there you go. Next one I think is called Handcar Havoc. Yes, Handcar Havoc. It's a 2-player game. And each player has to mash, I believe, A and B or A to move your part of the handcar forward. And you both have to control the steering with it so you can take turns super fast without tipping and slowing down. I think this is a fun 2-player game. This one, generally speaking, is pretty even. Just if you mash buttons, you don't necessarily know what you have to do. I'm also put this one in B. This is one of the more fun 2-player games. I think it's very intense. It's pretty short, easy to explain. Next, we have, I think it's called Hexagon Heat. Yes, Hexagon Heat. I think this one's a classic. I think this one's up here in the A category. Toad in the upper right-hand corner waves a flag of a color of the hexagon that's going to soon go up. You all try and get on it. If you don't get on it right away, you have to jump to get on it. If you jump on someone's head, it bops you off. Very unforgiving game. Very fun, can get very intense. It can go on forever because there's no timing. Absolutely love it for that. If you and a friend are really good at it, you can just play that one for a while. Very, very solid. It's very much a tactical game. If you get on the square or the hexagon right away, you stand at the edge, so when people jump, it bops them back or bops them off. Very, very fun game. A+. A+. Next, we have a bomb passing game where you pass the bomb, but I'm forgetting what it's called. Hot bomb. How could I forget that? Hot bomb. This is one where everybody's against each other and you hold on to the bomb, and the longer you hold on to it, the higher chance it has to blowing up in your face. If it blows up in your face, you're done. Very fun. I think this one's a very good strategy game if you're going for someone, especially if you knock someone else out. It's just easier to get that other target of yours out. It does not have to go in a circle, so you can throw the bomb to someone. And I think that is a very good tactic where you can be aiming at like throwing to the person to your right, but you actually throw it to the person to your left. They're not ready to catch it. So it drops, gets bigger. It's one step closer to blowing up, one step closer to the edge, and it's about to break. That's pretty much the theme of that game. I think it's a low A. I think it's a low A. Moving on, I think this one's called Lava Tiles, something of that nature. Lava Tile Isle. This one I don't like. I don't like the pattern. I don't like the jumping for it. I don't like the movement. It's one of those control-based games where you kind of have to play it like you're playing Super Mario 64, you know, jump, kick, ground pound, but everyone has that. The bouncing mechanics are on there, so if you bop them, not a huge fan of that. I think I have to put a high D, low C on this one. It's just not a favorite of mine. I'm not a huge fan of those type of heavy, intensive games. Most of the time, I just try and sit in a corner and just jump from tile to tile instead of getting people out, which I know is the tactic that others use, but I think I'm more of a pacifist in that way. All right, so then we have another coin mini game. This one, you have it's a 2v2 game where both you and your partner, or everyone has magnets on the front of their car, and you try and collect coin bags that are stashed in the middle of the ring. And at the very center of the coin bag is a treasure chest. And in order to get to the treasure chest, you know, you have to move the bags and drop it on your side. So it's sort of a race between you and your partner who can help navigate you to getting the bags in so the other person can get the chest as quick as possible. Once again, I don't think there's any winners and losers because you all get those amount of coins that you collect. So if you keep fighting over the one chest and blocking the other person, you just miss out on more coins. I think this one's a solid B. I think it's middle of the road B. You can't really go wrong with coin-based games. This one's very tough even if you know the controls. Once again, this is a game that has the weird cart controls where forward moves you forward in whatever direction you're facing, left and right just turns you, and backwards is just a whole fucking other story. Not a huge fan of that one. It looks like the next one is an item mini game. I believe this item mini game is a mini game item. I can't. How many times can I say that? I'm forgetting for what world. I think it's Mystery World. Yes, it's called Mallet Go Round. It's for Mystery World. You have to hit the same block stack twice to get the item. It's fairly easy to time. I don't think it gets faster, but it is very stressful if you're trying to get the one item at the end. However, there is Baby Bowser on the one block that you only need to hit once, and if you get him, you're out, sadly. I like it though. It's pretty solid. I don't have any... I think this one's lower than the Western item game, so I'm going to give it a mid to high B. It's all right. Next, we have, I think it's Fly Guys. I think that's what it's called. This one, Mecca Marathon. That's what it's called. Mecca Marathon is a 4-person game where both of you and everybody else has to hit A and B at the same time as fast as you can to wind up these flying Shy Guys. And whoever does it the most times or mashes the most times gets the farthest, and whoever gets the farthest wins. I usually lose Squidly on this one. He's just a much better masher. I still enjoy it because it always makes me want to compete. It's not a very intensive controller game. I like it. I think it's a solid A. I think it's a fair and solid A. However, I know some people aren't very great at mashing, so that's okay. The next mini game we have is... it's called Move to the Music. And this is a 1v3 game where the one person does actions, any of the C buttons, up, down, left, or right, A, B, Z, I think R and L you can choose. And they do it in an order, and then every person on the 3-person team has to then also recite that. But some people have one of the notes, another person might have 2 of the notes, and then at the end all 3 of you hit the same note. It's all right. I'm not a huge fan. You can definitely confuse some people. It is very fair. It's just a long and annoying game. I think it's a high to mid B. It's all right. It's not one that I would choose, but if I was the one, I know for a fact that it'd be pretty even. Then we have sorry, I keep doing that, switching tabs. A dueling mini game called Psychic Safari for Mysteryland. And I believe both you and the person you are challenging have to hit A and B back and forth as fast as possible. And whoever does it the most wins. I think it's one of those mashing games. However, it's not that fun. It doesn't look as cool. And you can generally tell who wins just by the UI. So it's all right. I'll give it a high C. It would be a B if it wasn't a duel. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of duels. I like competing against everyone. But it also seems like a ripoff from an already made 4-person game. So. Ooh, that tea is damn good. What is this one? I actually don't know that one just by looking at it. Rainbow Run. I legitimately don't know this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Squidly? Anyone else has played Mario Party 2? Have you seen Rainbow Run? I don't think I've seen it. Is it a Japanese only game? I also just Mario Party 2 minigames. I'm very confused. I'm very, very confused. I have never played Rainbow Run. Here's a bigger screenshot. I have never played this minigame, which is absolutely bananas to me. But I have not played this minigame. So I don't even know if I can rank that. Yeah, I feel like a moron, honestly. I'm sorry, I feel like a fraud. How am I even able... Okay, well, this is an NA. I did not think we would get 2 NAs in one, but here we are. I'm curious if it is a Japanese-only game. But who knows? Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, so then moving on from that weird one, we have, I think it's called Rake 'em In. And, you know, like the big bucks, we rake them in. And, or it's called Raking 'em In. And everyone's on a claw. It's everyone versus everyone, and you try and get the most mushrooms. Golden mushrooms are worth a few more. Poison mushrooms take away from your count. Whoever has the most wins. It's Hungry Hungry Hippos. You can't go wrong with Hungry Hungry Hippos. In Mario Party, I think this is an A. I think this is an extremely fun one, a very tactical one, and a non-intense controller-based game. I think it's just A to pull it in. That's it. Very simple, clean cut, good game overall. All right, I believe the next one is a dueling minigame for Mystery or it's for Bowser Land. It's Rock Paper Mario. You either get a thwomp, I think you get Mario, or you get a star, and you have to choose which one the opponent will lose to. It's rock paper scissors, but Mario style. It's a weird duel, but you know what? It's fun. It's easy. We'll give it a low B. Not very high effort game. You can usually win some coins over it if you're feeling lucky. Not terrible. So then we have the next item mini game called Roll Out the Barrels for Pirate Land. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I said this one earlier. It's very similar to the Coffin in Horrorland. You generally can get the item you're looking for, but it's one person. Barrels move with the item that's under it. You just have to watch the barrel that you want. It's better than the Coffin one, so we're just going to rank it a low B as well. I don't think there's too much to be said there. So then we have the Pirate Duel. This one I think is a pretty high ranked one. It's called Saber Swipes. And you are against your opponent and you have to hit the buttons in the order in which they appear at the top. So it might be like A, Z, R, Z, and whoever can hit those 4 or 5 buttons in a row quickest will win the duel. I think it's a very fun one if you can understand or wrap your mind around the N64 controller, which I know some people can't. So it can be a little tough, but I think it's a fair duel. I'm going to say it's an A. It's a low A. I think that's my only duel that's in the A category, mostly because it's fun, and I feel like duels don't happen a lot on Pirate Land. So there's that. All right, moving on. I think we have Shy Guy Says. I think this is what this next one's called. I'm just going to double check these names so I sound very smart when I get it right. Yes, it is Shy Guy Says. 4 players, you have to see what flag Shy Guy holds up. If you hit the wrong one, he pops you and you drop you. You know, drop that ass very low. I like this one. I like the fake outs. I think it's very tough. I think new people generally don't know what they're doing, but can still play the game fairly well. Very, very tough fake outs. There's a lot of times where Shy Guy like almost holds it up, the A button, but then switches to B at the last second. So you just got to be very cautious. I like it. I think I'm also going to put it at an A. I think it's above Hot Bomb, but below the Rake 'em In. Simple game, very likable. Not much to it. So then this next one, it looks like Sky Pilots. This is a 2-player mini game where you and your partner must guide a ship through the fucking sky without dying. My critiques of it, it is a bit too long. One person controls the flapping, so the speed, and the other person controls the steering. I think those mechanics are fine. However, the track is very long and very unforgiving if you hit something or if you get stuck on a wall or hit a bomb. It's like almost guaranteed loss unless the other team is exactly the same level as you. I really don't like it. I think we're going to put it in the high D, low C tier here. Not a fan of it. I just don't like the length of that game. It's not very short and nice. Next, I think we have a game that is a 4-player game called Tile Driver. And you need to ground pound. You're in a 3x3 grid and you need to ground pound each unit to spin to make the shape that is in the middle of the screen. I think this is a very fun game. I think it's all about moving and positioning. I think this is the one that I'm going to say is a good one. It's very heavy controller usage where you have to ground pound at just the right area. But I don't know. I think this is a very fair controller-based one. I would say I have an advantage just because I played the game quite a bit, and I know that's one of the critiques. I just think I have a very good experience with this game, maybe because I'm usually the winner of the game, but I think this is a solid A. I think it's a little above the A average. Very fun. Very, very fun. Next, we have the duel for Space World, which I believe is a time game. Yeah, it's called Time Bomb. I believe the Goomba will tell you how long we need to wait before you hit the bomb, before you time the bomb. For instance, it'll say 3 seconds, and the timer will turn invisible, and you must count in your head and hit A when you believe 3 seconds has happened. Whoever is closest to 3 seconds wins the minigame and the other person blows up. I think it's a very fun minigame. I think this one can really solidify a lead. I do think it's a bit luck-based, especially if someone decides to count out loud or if you're in their head. I think it's a fun duel. I think it's an above-average duel, and I don't think duels are that great. Once again, I think this is the second highest duel we have in the game. Yes, we have the Pirate Duel, and then we have Time Bomb Duel. Pretty great ones. Next, we have Toad Bandstand, I believe this is called. You and a partner must hit A on the right time to play a song. It's very, very simple. It takes a bit long. The song's kind of a slapper, but it's very basic, not very fun. Usually ends up in a tie. I'm actually going to put this in an F. Kind of boring. Hey, Rissa. Hi. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Hopefully what I have left here in this tier list you've seen or played, and if not, maybe we can see or play it here soon. But welcome. How you doing? All right. Oop, didn't mean to scroll on that one. We have a mini game for all 4 players. And this one is a good one. This is called Toad in the Box. Toad in the Box is exactly what it sounds like. A box spins. It is four-sided? I would assume it's 4-sided, but I feel like I might be wrong on that. And you need to jump and have Toad facing the camera. And when you get up to, I think, 5 or 6 Toads, you win. And as you go up, you get 2 Toads, your box spins faster and faster and faster. So the last time you have to get Toad, it's a lot harder. I think this is a very fun one, a very time-based one. I think it's a high A. I actually think it's up there with Hexagon Peril or Hexagon Heat and Facelift. So you're doing well. You got your COVID shot. You had therapy today, and you got a hole puncher. Wow, those sound like amazing feats for the day. COVID shot and therapy and a hole puncher. Wow, I can't remember the last time I've needed a hole puncher, but the fact that you need one probably tells me it's very important and you're happy about it. Okay, I think we have come to our 3rd F ranked game. I think this game is absolutely horrible. It is the Sky Pilots of the Water game. It's the Sky Pilots of the Water. It is an absolutely horrendous game. It is a 2-player game. One person controls shooting the torpedo and the other person controls the ship. It is incredibly difficult with the controls. It is unforgiving, and the person who has to shoot the bullets or the missiles, torpedoes, can steer it a little bit, but even that is not enough to make up for one false move for the pilot of the submarine. It is called Torpedo Target, and it is absolutely horrible. I think it is the worst game in Mario Party thus far. Please, if you ever see this game, run, give up, don't try. It is bad. Bad, bad, bad. You're making a binder journal for D&D, so that's what the hole puncher is for. Well, that sounds like fun. And exactly, you need to make a journal for it or a binder for D&D. It's probably very, very large or good for note taking. Up next, we have, I think it's Lights Out, I think is what this one's called. I'm going to triple check it. My sources say it is, if I can find it. Sorry, if my producers can find it. Yes, it is called Lights Out. Thank you. 1v3 game. One person has a hammer. Other 3 people have a light. Knock the lights out. Very fun game. Very, very dramatic. I think it is up there. I actually think it's S tier. S tier game, as in it is very even, very full of energy. I think it's a good one. You can't really go wrong with it. You can either bop them, like the big ol' bonk, or you can do a side swing as if you're acting like Thor. Doesn't matter. Very fun game. S tier. This upcoming game, I think, is called something with outline, or draw the line, or something of that nature, if I can find it here. I feel like I'm being an asshole or condescending when I'm saying that I think I know these games. Crazy Cutters. 4-player game. You outlined the object on the ground. Incredibly weird controls. However, I think the shapes are fun. I think it's a very even game. You can take as long as you want. But once again, with Facelift, the criteria in which it judges you, I think, is a bit off. There are times where you can make like a pristine circle, but someone who was inside of the shape itself might have a higher score because they didn't go outside the line at all. Very tough, but very fun. I think this is an A tier game. I think it might have to go right under Toad. What is it called? Toad in the Box. There we go. Okay, this next one is called, I think it's called like Shock, Drop, and Lock. Shock, Drop, or Roll. 1v3 game. One person controls the lever going back and forth, turning the barrel forward or backward. If you fall off or get too far on the side of the barrel, you fall off and you're out. But if one person survives of the 3-person party, the whole 3-person party wins. It is a very fun game. You can jump and help yourself get up. It is very tough with jumping if you have been playing for a while. I think this is a solid A-. I think this is almost B tier because I think you have such a significant advantage if you're one of the 3 people. The controller, I think, has a disadvantage, but that's just me. Next game we have here is Platform Peril, I believe. Yep, Platform Peril. You have to diagonally jump on each platform. Some move you forward faster, some move you backward slower, some have obstacles you have to move, some have coins. Last one to get to the end, or first one that gets to the end wins. Otherwise, if you all fall off, no one wins. It's kind of a stupid game and like that. Very control based. I think the controls are a bit odd. This is a solid B. This is a middle of the road B. It is your most standard classic Mario Party game. If I remember correctly, this is in Mario Party 1, so they brought it back because, you know, it's too good to say no. Next one I think is called Shell Shocked. You are a tank that can lob a bomb or shoot it straight forward. It's a really, really hard game to understand because holding Z will allow you to strafe left and right. But if you release Z, you can like turn left and right. It's very tough if you don't know the controls. However, the maps are very small sometimes. I like the bigger maps. It's very fun. I think this is low A. I'm a little biased because I know how the game works. If you're a new person, this is not a fun game for you. However, I think in general, it's kind of a cool concept. Most of the Mario Party games aren't as wild and zany as they used to be, and I think this is one that's considered weird, so I like that. Next, we have Skateboard Scamper, I believe is what it's called. Yep, Skateboard Scamper, and it is a Boo game. Boo chases all 4 characters, and you have to get through his sick, rad Tony Hawk's Pro Skater-esque rug that goes upstairs, down slants, whatever, you name it. He's got it. Don't get hit by Boo. And then you mash A, I think, to go faster. It's usually a race to see who can mash the fastest at the end of the game. Sometimes you get ahead and sometimes you don't. It's a very weird, janky game. I think it's a high B. I think it's above Time Bomb. I think it's fun. I could play it a lot. There is a bit of a skill curve, but it's very fair, very even. All right, we're approaching the last 8 Mario Party games. I think we've done a decent job labeling the ones I like and dislike. This next one I actually played a lot as a kid on my own, just because I wanted to get the time trials. The racetracks for this can be very tough, but it's called Slot Car Derby. And, you know, you hold forward to move fast, backward to slow down. I don't think left and right do anything, but if you take a curve too fast, you can spin out and come to a complete stop and you have to start again. So it's about managing your speed on certain parts of the track. I think it's fun. I think it's very tough. Let's put this one in a high C. Very tough. If I play these games, I usually go for beating the time that's on the game rather than beating the people to race, because it's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I've framed it in my head, but it's a very tough racing game. But for Mario Party, it makes sense, but it's tough. Next one I think is called Sneak and Snore. This one I know, yep, it's called Sneak and Snore because it sucks. It is very, 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 very tough. In my opinion, you have to hold your character down there in a barrel. It's 4 people, and you try and touch a button that's at the bottom of the screen. But if the chain chomp wakes up and you're not in your barrel, completely in your barrel, he will come and eat you and put you in his pipe, and it's the end of you. It's a very, very tough game. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. But most of the time everyone else is really bad with it, so we all end up losing, so it's no harm, no foul, whatever. This one is a low C in my opinion. When I see it, I'm like, no one's really gonna win this, but it also doesn't hinder me, but then it's a waste of time, so why even play it? So there's that. This next one is a hockey, like a dome hockey, but it's called speed hockey. 2 versus 2. You try and stop a shell from getting into your goal. And that's it. Moving up and down, and you and your partner have to block. I think it's a very fun 2-player game. You only need to move up and down. It's just about coordination. And then if you're really good at like predicting trajectory for, the DVD symbol that goes in the camera, or on the TV, you make sure it hits corners and hits the angles correctly. It's like that. Very fun. I think it's a solid B. I think it's one of the best in the B tier. I think. This next game I think is called Sand Tile. What is it called, Justin? What is it called? This one is called Tipsy Tourney. This one, each player has sort of like a board that has sand on it, and you have to move a shell by tipping the board to clear all of the board, or all of the sand off the board to reveal the face. And the first one to do it wins. There are very specific mechanics to do it as quick as possible. I don't know what they are anymore, and I do not like that game because the controls are very tough. I recently found out I'm someone who like leans and plays games like this when I can't see over a ledge in N64. This is one of those games where I feel like I'm leaning to get the tiles cleared. That's how intense it is. I think it's a solid C. I don't enjoy it terribly. I usually lose at this game because I'm just really bad and really impatient. And maybe that's the reason I don't think it's fun. However, for a 4-player game, it's kind of the bottom middle of the barrel, sort of. All right, next one is definitely on my F tier. Crane game. Crane game, for those who are unfamiliar, is exactly how it sounds. You are in charge of a crane, and you must pick up the other characters and bring them into this pipe. Right, and when you hit A to grab someone, you must hold on to them by mashing A or B or whatever button it is to hold on until they get over the pipe, and then you can release them and they get sucked down. You can grab more time by grabbing the time stopwatches. However, if you are the crane, it is almost never in your favor. Never, ever, 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 ever in your favor. As someone who just lies there and has to mash A, your entire game for 15 seconds, not even, is to mash A as fast as you can, and 9 times out of 10, you can just never be picked up. And it's not like you get one chance to get picked up. They can come back and get you again if they get more time, but as the person on the crane, you must mash it as hard as you can every time you pick someone up. So you better be ready to mash for at least 2 minutes and then outmash the people who are on the ground. Absolute atrocious game, worse than the torpedo game, and it is a 1v3 game. Whenever I get it, I just give up. I give up. There's no way you should be winning that game. Horrible, horrible, horrible. All right, now that that's out of my system, wow, I feel great. Who needs therapy when you can just shout at a screen about the games you hate, Next game is called Bowl Over. This is a bowling game, 1v3. 3 people are pins, and the one bowler has 2 tries to try and spin a turtle shell, or a Koopa shell rather, into knocking everyone else down. I think it's a fun game. I think it's a solid idea. However, there are times where it definitely should have knocked someone down, and it doesn't happen. I don't know why. I don't know if you can jump over the shell, but I think it is a game that has janky issues with it. It's a mid-D. It's not fun. The one person who's bowling generally knows they're not going to win. Actually, I can't even say that, but that's been my experience. When I get it, I'm just like, I'm probably not going to win. I think it's very unfair. I don't like games that are very one-sided in the 1v3 or 2v2s, so. Next, I think we have what is it called? Honeycomb Havoc. This one is a counting game. If you know how to count, you win. It is very luck-based in the sense that the order that you're in on the game, and you can either get a 1 or a 2. There's a dice block that rolls. If you hit a 1, you get the 1 fruit. If you hit 2, you get 2 fruit. The idea is to avoid the honeycombs, otherwise bees will snip your asshole right open and get you there. So it is a counting game. I think it's very fun because you can strategically, even if you know you're going to get out and a honeycomb is on yours, generally speaking, the person you don't want to win doesn't win. I think it's very order oriented. I think because of that, there's no control over it. It's just luck of the draw, or if someone just straight up doesn't know how to count, then you can win. I think it's fun. I think it is middle of the road B. It's fun. That's it. I think it's not perfect, but I enjoy it every time I play it, even if I know I'm going to lose or, All right, last game I think is called Look Away. Yes, Look Away. It is a 1v3 game. The one person, a little jingle plays. And if you're looking the same way as the one person, if you're one of the 3 people who aren't looking the same way as the person who's at the top, you don't shrink, you're not out. And the point of the game is to have the person that is the one person, try and get all of the other 3 people out by looking the same way that they are. I think it is an incredibly fun game because when the music stops, you have about a half a second to change your direction, and there are times where you can move your head up, down, left, right, and then get into a position that there's no way they could have predicted it unless it was luck. I think this is a very fun game. It is a very non-skill based game. I think this one deserves a shot at the top. I think this is one of the more fun games that you can just let anyone know what's up. So, there you have it. There's Mario Party 2 mini games ranked by Hal. And I will be saving this and posting this in my Discord. If you're not a part of that, you can just do Discord. I'll even just put it here now. But this is my ranking for Mario Party 2. I would love to discuss now ones that you think that I messed up. For those who know this game a little bit better or understand, I'm just curious. What games do you think deserve to be higher or lower? Have you played the 2 NA games that I wasn't able to play? I strictly think it's been a little bit since I played Mario Party 2. I'll give myself that, but I do think when I look at these games and look at these thumbnails that these games really could set a mood for Mario Party. If we get any of these D or F ranked games at all, I'm livid. Oh, you think the Honeycomb Havoc is lower in your opinion? You don't like it. You don't like Honeycomb Havoc as a B? Do you think it's lower than a B? What would you rank it as, Sundial? Mid C. Mid C. Interesting. Yeah, I think you should explain why you think it's a mid C. Because like I can understand people not liking a very basic game that's counting and luck based, but I think it's still fun nonetheless, especially when you can hold on and not hit the dice and just let it sit there and let people fume. I think that's fun. You don't think the ball game is S. You've had too many ties. You've had too many ties on bumper balls. I think bumper ball ties, okay. I think that's a fair criticism. I think that's a fair criticism for bumper ball ties. I do think it gets really tough when it's down to two people, but I think the fun for me outweighs the issue of having a tie. There's a cheat on emulators to lower friction on the game because it's too easy to stall out. Interesting. All right, Honeycomb Havoc can be fun, just a bit rudimentary. I agree. Like I said, I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of keep it at a B. I think B is middle of the road, just because like I think it's really hard for me to hate a lot of games. But I think the two last games, Torpedo Target and Crane Game, are absolutely never ever going to ever come out of the F rank. It's just too crappy of a game, too hard, not intuitive at all, and no amount of practice will make you love that game. So yeah, I think that's yeah. Do I need to scroll up or down for any of you to get a better look? Or if you need reminding of which one's which, I can point them out for you. Sandpit 1 is not as one-sided as you ranked it in your opinion. This sand one, I think it's incredibly tough to understand. You give it at least a C, okay. I think that's fair also because not like everyone can win, but not everyone will. You know, if you're out, you're out, which most other cart games don't have that, or most other coin games don't really have that, which is a bummer. Most other coin games are just you collect as many as you can without being punished. So that's where I'm at with that one. But I understand. Like I said, I feel like it's one of the mechanics I still just haven't wrapped my head around for the sand pit to spin. So yeah, I'll give it a little bit more time if you have some other ones. This Day at the Races I really do enjoy. Day at the Races I really do enjoy. I just don't think it's a fair game. I think it's an easy time passer, but I don't like the fact that it's completely random and you could really just be giving up more of a lead to someone if they get the right one. So yeah, the permadeath sucks. Def keeps it for B or A rank though. Okay. Is Bowl Over a C? Where did I put Bowl Over? Sorry, I just lost track. I thought it was a C. Where did I put Bowl Over? D. I put it as a D, a mid D. That's what it was. Yep. Oh, you're on your couch. Nice. Just chilling. Cool. Yeah, Bowl Over is a D. I just don't think it's a fun game. And kind of complicated for the one person. I think it's pretty easy to avoid the shell as the three people. That's why when we get the game as a 1v3 and you're the three, I like it. Whereas the way I tried to rank all of the other 1v3 games, the 1v3 games, if I see it show up on the screen and I get into the game, I'm not mad that I'm either the one side or the three side. That's how I tried to rank the fairness scale, I guess. And I just think that Bowl Over is not fair. It is pretty uneven though, yeah. I mean, and I do think some Bowl Over tracks, it depends on the difficulty you play and it can adjust, but yeah. Looking it over, it's a solid ranking. Most of these I agree with. Nice. Yeah. Would you say there are other ones that you'd put in S tier that I didn't put in S tier? I think S tier is more of the definitive, rank. Like, are there ones that are S rank that I didn't include in there? Because I think Bowser's Big Blast is just straight up goated. It is the best chance game. It is like the perfect timing, the perfect suspense, the perfect amount of interest you need to have, and completely lucky. I also realized I didn't have music going, but I guess that's fine. I don't think that's a big deal. No idea why I didn't put any music. I think a part of me wanted to be able to download this and edit it into a video without having to adjust the audio. And that probably would have taken a lot of CPU and GPU to record this while it was happening. So, yeah. All right. Well, this went a bit longer than I expected it to be completely honest. I expected this ranking to only be about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, which is fine. But I don't think there's quite enough time for me to start up Legend of Zelda and continue that dungeon I did. So I think I will push that to Wednesday, by the way. Bowser's Big Blast and Lights Out are def S tier. Trying to find some I would put into S that you didn't, though. Yeah, a lot of these ones that I put in the A tier, I feel like really just depend on who you're playing with. Because I think when I think of playing Mario Party, I think of playing with Use Squid and a few others. But it's generally against you and how I feel about them. Like, because I think we're pretty evenly matched and skilled in the game. So when I think about going into the game, I want to think about, well, is it even for both of us? So maybe the Toad Block one, the comeback potential clinch is S rank for me. Sure, yeah, the hype, the hype ability, definitely out of there. Can I play some Mario Party games? Yeah, I totally can play some Mario Party games. I can also play some online, but I have Mario Party here. I can queue it up, actually. All right. Let's get it going. Let me just change my category real quick. Mario Party 2. All right. I'm going to put on my headset. Signal sweatshirt? Yeah, my partner had it and they let me borrow it, so. How's the music for Mario Party? Can you hear it? Too loud, too quiet? I know you can't see it, but sounds good? Cool. Yeah, so I'll go to a minigame aisle real quick. Yo! Yo! I gotta change my monitor real quick to show me Mario Party, because I was just looking at it at my other screen. Okay. Minigame land. Here we go. So in order to get the secret minigames, you have to do minigame coaster, do one play adventure on the hardest difficulty. Since the tree Woody, you buy minigames from him. I have all of them. So I can't really buy them. Oh my god, I just clicked into it again. What minigames do you want to see? Also there's this, my records. Huh.
Yahoo!
How many will play it this time? Just me, baby. Alright, best. Definitely Wario. We'll see some super hard.
Okay.
Alright, so I bought all 6, I have all 21, I have all 10, I have all 2v2. Okay. So, Sundial, you said you wanted I should play some Mario Party games. Did you have any that you wanted to see in mind before? 'Cause, 2v2s? Okay. So we have the Toad Bandstand I hate, Bobsled Run I don't like, Handcar Havoc, Balloon Blast is a fun one, Sky Pilots can eat my butt, Torpedo Targets can die, Looney Lumberjacks is just ugh. Magna Kart is good, that's a magnet one, Cake Factory is good, Speed Hockey, I love the Speed Hockey. Yeah, these are all pretty subpar in my opinion. I'll start out with Cake Factory, okay. Cake Factory is very fun. Should have been partners with Peach. We all know Peach is OP. This music is so good. Alright. So very hard comms. Oh shit, I missed. Oh shit, I missed! No! No! I had such a sizable lead. Okay, it wasn't sizable, but... That's crazy. Wow, I'm a little bummed about that. Fuck. Sorry, just gonna close my Chrome. Well, there was that one. I'm gonna play the hockey one. That one's so fun. You gotta get Peach on your team this time. Yeah, but for those of you who don't know, oh shit. There's a N64 emulator called Mario Party N, or Project 64 MPN, that stands for Mario Party Net Play. And you can play Mario Party online with your pals. So that is my plan, is to get together some of my other pals and stream some Mario Party and have a drinking game. I did invent some pretty intense Mario Party drinking game rules that I would love to institute, mostly just because it really does. Dude, what is Peach doing? It really does screw you up pretty bad. If you oh, that sucked. Peach just draw. 4-player. Let's we'll do Skateboard Scamper. This one we have to jump as A and B to skate. Okay. Yeah, this one can get pretty tough. Shit. Dude, these guys are fucking me. What? Shit. No! That sucks. It's been a minute. Classic. Luigi won. Hardest calm Luigi won. But yeah, I actually think I'm gonna call it a pretty early stream, mostly because this was a kind of a fun experiment for me, and I enjoyed the people who viewed this, and also, you know, had some nostalgia brought to them by just reliving Mario Party 2. But that brings me to sort of my next point. Those who are here and have been lurking and just chilling, just want to let you know I do have plans in the works to do a Mario Party night one of these times, like I said, drunkenly or with drinking rules. My plan is to do it with Mythalaris and Squidly and maybe another person. That is still TBD, and I know when it happens it'll be full of fun hijinks and just a really good night. Yeah, Mario Party night. I love Mario Party. I've never played Mario Party 3, so I'd be down for that. I'd also be down for Mario Party 2 with cheats, so never played that. But yeah, so, ooh, excuse me. But that is my plan, and I'll announce that on my Twitter and in my Discord and some other places. So, yeah. With that said, I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try my first ever raid, and we're just gonna raid Myth. You know, my big old pal. They're playing WoW right now. So we're just gonna go say hi. So if y'all don't want to be a part of it, you know, y'all can just chill and leave, but we're just gonna say hi and lurk for a while. So with that, thanks everybody. I appreciate you being here.